SwiftUI's list view likes to work with arrays of objects that conform to the identifiable protocol, or at least have an ID property that is guaranteed to be unique. However, there's no reason this array needs to be a stored property of our view. We can actually make it a computed property and then adjust our filtering on demand as needed. Now in this app, we have 3 instances of our prospect view down here in the bottom left 3 tabs. And these vary according only to the filter type value we passed in earlier. Over here, this thing. That's the only thing that's changing between them. We're already using this thing to set a different title for every one of the views. We can also use that to set different contents for our list. Now the easiest way to do this is using Swift's filter method, which runs every element in a sequence in our array of prospects through a test you provide as a closure. And then any elements that return true from that test get included in a return value array. And in this case, our prospects view already has the prospects data coming in, which has an array of prospect objects inside it to work with. So we can either return everyone from there, or people who have is contacted set to true, or is contacted set to false. And so down here we'll add a new property, var filtered prospects is an array of prospect. We'll then switch on filter, and actually let Exa complete that perhaps for me, be easier. Switch filter, there we go. So if we're none, we'll send back prospect.people, the whole array. If it's contacted, we'll do return prospects.people.filter using $0.isContacted. And then the other one, return prospect.people.filter not $0.isContacted. Flip that around. Now remember, when this filter method runs here, this one, boom, it'll pass every element in our people array through the test. So we're saying, hey object 1, have you been contacted or not? If so, send back true, go into the returned array. And here, we're flipping it around. Only include folks who are not contacted. And then all the items that pass this test will go back into an array, which is sent back here as an array of prospect from filtered prospects. So it's a simple way to get a filter of our data really, really quickly. And with that in place, we can now make a list up in our body, or having a simple text like that, that will loop over our array, and it'll show both the title and email address for each person in there using a VStack. We'll also use a for each we can add deleting later on. So in our body here, we'll say there's a list with for each filtered prospects, our computed property. We'll have prospect coming in, like that. The VStack alignment of .leading here. Text prospect.name in a headline font. Headline, there we go. Then text prospect.email address. And I'll use foreground color secondary, like that. And then just push in gently these modifiers here, like that. So it lines up neatly with a list. Boom. And hopefully now we should see things are kind of coming together a little bit. When I add temporary people with our little test button, you'll see I slide in multiple times like that. So it looks really nice. Now, before we move on, I want to think about how we have data here. And notice how it's empty here, by the way. We'll fix that shortly, don't worry. How does it know to refresh this view when it's changing? And the simple thing is, we're changing the values down here to inject people, whatever. The answer is it doesn't know that. It has no idea this value is changing. It doesn't understand. It's not at state. It's not at published, like that. It has no idea the value in here is changing. What's actually happening here is when we added the environment object property to our view here, we also asked Swift to reinvoke the body property whenever this thing changes, whenever we add things into here. And so when we insert values into our array here, it understands to re-invoke the body property of our current view and filter it out. Now, remember, this first view, the everyone view, shows everyone. This one won't show everyone because we haven't contacted anybody yet. This will show also everyone because everyone currently is uncontacted. So they're all refreshing correctly. They all understand, aha, I was told to watch this thing for changes. Just go ahead and reload my view. So it's working correctly. There is no one contacted yet, which is correct. And these two show the same data because they're automatically re-invoking the body property for us thanks to @environmentObject. But that is what triggers our computed property be rerun, this thing here. Because when it reloads the body, because the environment object changed, it'll reread filtered prospects, boom. That is computed. So we'll go ahead and run the code down here to perform the filter again. That's what's happening. So it isn't really spotting this as changing, it's just calling it again when the environment object is changing. Honestly, I just love the way SwiftUI takes on so much work for us here, which means we can focus on the work of doing the filtering. What actually should a filter happen here? How should it actually take place? What should a filter look like? Rather than trying to spend our time connecting up pipes to make sure things just stay in sync. It's all done for us by SwiftUI.